Very true indeed. But now then, let's see. As we retcon. To elaborate on what you said earlier, what we had were we were able to work out that KT, all but one time they lose the first game, they have lost the second.
Yeah.
So winning the first game is apparently very important for them in terms of momentum. KT also one of only 2 teams that have not now taken a map off of BTG, the other one being the A team.
Yep, that is a really good comparison there. And really shows us what we need here. First of all, we need a really good first game for KT so they can build up that momentum, so they can start into game number 2 with a little bit of confidence. But which strategy are they going to try to go for? Will they rely... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you first. Mine was off topic.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, will they rely on something sneaky like an Illidan again, which failed miserably in that first series that they played today? Or are they going to try and play standard against them?
It's an excellent question. The Illidan wasn't terrible for a while, so I wouldn't hate to see a second attempt at it. We'll have to see. For now, Dancing and Bad being hired as the key players. Also, the off-topic thing I was going to say, my favorite part of the Tetra being a robot meme is where people get banned in the chat for accidentally making websites using file extension names.
Wait, you say it's a meme, but it's true, isn't it?
I mean, no.
Wait, I thought Blizzard had provided me with the most recent model of the Tetrabot 2.0 X.3.
Wait, I'm not a robot, am I? I can't remember my childhood.
There we go. It all makes sense now. I think, now we need to be aware that the Tetra bot is not going to stop. All right.
Rebooted. We're heading into the draft. And it's time for game number 1 with KT having the first ban.
All right, I'm glad I actually caught that on a webcam because normally my eyes stick to the drafting monitor, but I'm glad I could show that to the people out there.
All right, so Yrel is the first ban. We'll likely see Maiev and Genji getting removed as well. Nice standard stuff. There's Maiev. Now it's going to be some kind of tank trying to force BTG to ban out the Genji. Tank most likely to be Diablo or Garrosh in some way, shape, or form. Could also be a Hanzo or a Sergeant Hammer, something like that, if we're going a little bit more out there.
Timeless, man, the legend. We're going to have to require a little bit of magic coming in from him. We can see him on the bottom right hand of your corner of your screens. Looking very focused. I'm going to give him that. And look at the reaction coming in there by BTG. It looks like Dancing really was looking forward to playing Genji for once. Hasn't played Genji in a while.
Yeah, not this time. But it does mean BTG can be a lot more free with what they want to ban. With Yrel banned out, they probably want something strong solo lane-wise for Locktar, so I doubt we'll see a solo laner ban. And we're going to stick with the Deckard Cain instead.
That's going to be an interesting one. Deckard Cain hasn't been banned a single time today, but he's been part of every single game we've cast today. So how is the game going to unfold without those Emerald Cubes, without the Lornado? And I think especially the Emerald Cubes are the reason why KT immediately locks down the Alexstrasza, because one of the strongest anti-healing tools in the game is no longer there, which means tons of value for Abundance and Dragon Queen.
Quite. But also these two heroes are pretty effective at doing all that AoE damage required. We're going to be seeing the Reyna and the Blaze. Of course, the Blaze empowers the Reyna, which is always nice. And the Bunker helps keep both of them alive through that Dragon Queen duration, or at least burning through as much of it as they can.
Crazy good win rate, by the way, for Blaze now. He's been picked in almost half the games that we've seen in HGC China and has a win rate of 62.5%. That's how strong the Bunker can be in a meta, in a region that focuses so much on teamfighting.
Quite surprising to see Diablo managing to slip so far down the draft to actually be allowed to be picked up by KT, but I doubt they are complaining. It is just a very, very good hero. So now then,
what was the map we saw, by the way? Sorry, I didn't pay attention.
I thought it was Infernal, but
okay,
I
makes
might
sense.
be wrong.
Yeah. No, definitely makes sense if... although, was it Volskaya? Isn't that the Volskaya music?
Yes, it's Volskaya.
There we go.
You are correct.
Wow, music helps.
Correct me if I am wrong. Yeah, music does help. It's always nice. So now then, the Auric banned out with Blaze already as the solo lane. BTG are trying to choke out KT at least a little bit. It's impossible to choke out all the way because there's Dahaka, there's Thrall, there's Phoenix, there's all these heroes that can fill in the solo lane and just do a fine job.
I think Junkrat is definitely such an important pick, or can be such an important pick on Volskaya. Like we've seen that, or we've seen examples of why that is in previous series on this battleground. Like countless times already have enemy warriors been denied access to that healing camp, for example. You just fling him back and secure it for yourselves. We also saw countless, protector plays. You bounce someone back into the protector, and the protector's gonna melt them down. Here goes the white main actually led through. Interesting.
We still not see the damage white main heroic, right, in HGC China?
Not in HGC. I've seen it several times in Master Hero League yesterday, but...
Yeah, we have seen it in HGC because Dig ran it, but
Dig just ran it, okay.
But we haven't seen it in HGC China.
No, in China we haven't seen it, that's right.
Alright. Off tank Tyrael, neat. That means the likelihood of judgment goes up quite a bit.
That it does, unless they are trying to have a counter to the Scarlet Aegis. So oftentimes when teams, pop the Scarlet Aegis or the bunker, they will play very aggressively because they have this, defensive boon. So all of a sudden, if you then drop the Sanctification as a counter to the counter engage, then you're going to have the counter engage, and you can do really well.
Well then, let's see how they can do here with that. So the white main slipping through could be incredibly solid for BTG here. But this is not a bad draft by any sense of the imagination for KT. It's standard, which is what we were wondering whether they would go for, whether they try something interesting. Everything synergizes pretty effectively. The only weird thing is that Tyrael, which overall is still a pretty safe pick in general. Overall, if you had to go down to it, I'd say this is probably going to come down to skill, in which case BTG were looking very solid early today.
All right. That is going to be an interesting game. We have so many impactful AoE heroic abilities that can protect people, that can empower people. Sanctification, potentially. Scarlet Aegis, Bunker. Which team is going to be able to outlast the other? That remains to be seen. However, I'm not so sold on the Tyrael, I'm not going to lie. I think he remains a fairly okay solo laner, but I'm not sure if he can pressure the Blaze. I'm not sure if he can secure kills during ganks, for example. I'm not sure if he can secure early objectives, but we will find out. I'm super curious nonetheless, and especially in the late game, with that Holy Ground online, that is going to be Tyrael's late game power spike, stealing mercenary camps potentially.
So now then, ladies and gentlemen, spawning on the left-hand side, it is going to be Beyond the Game with 619, LLK, Druid, Dancing, and Loktar.
Facing them is Kudos top with TWT, Kiaru, Lotus, Timeless, and Bad. And already, we don't really see any major surprises here. We see Tyrael going for Justice for All, better AoE protection to nearby allies. Cassia doesn't go for the Thunderstroke build this time. She goes for Charge Strikes, which means more AoE value during the team fights themselves. But sacrifices a little bit of poke.
KT not going for the minion block that they have tried basically almost every series up to now. Tyrael is found by 619, but that's not going to be too much of an issue with Groundbreaker already being used. It's an easy escape.
It just forces out a little bit of mana from Tyrael, which is one of his weaknesses, don't get it mistaken. If you spam your abilities too much, or if you're forced to spam your abilities too much in the early game, then you can oftentimes suffer quite a bit. Nice Eldrin's Might there, though. Kiaru completely dodging that Garage combo. In the meantime, we see Hanzo actually duking it out here against that Blaze. A cheeky KT spray on the ground. I like it. I think teams should do that more often.
What, sprays?
Yeah. Just use them all the time.
I would agree. Where are our caster sprays, huh? As we we see Timeless burning through the minions. Quick charge by Blaze. Not a great dodge by Lotus. And as such, he just eats a lot of damage.
Yeah, Hanzo doesn't really have that superior auto attack range anymore. And if you try to poke someone like Blaze with your auto attacks, conveyor belt run, Lotus, you're out of tools, out of means now. And that is that.
No redemption stacks for you.
No, not. Oh, yeah, you're totally right. Redemption now actually is twice as punishing if you end up dying, because upon death you lose 3 stacks, I believe.
3 or 2, one of the two.
Yeah, I think it's 3. But that's always frustrating, because now Hanzo is probably going to have to start anew. But also, I mean, it's basically his own doing. It's his own fault, right? If you get too close to a blaze and you get stunned, plus comboed there several times, you're going to lose that health. And if you then get ganked on top of it, your mistake is complete, and you deserve to be where you're at.
But now, KT taking up position to at least contest this camp and maybe die, as Timeless is taking a lot of damage. Stands in the abundance, get the extra healing, turns onto the Garrosh, who is holding down the line for the moment. The healing pulse still battering away. That support camp currently focusing on the members of KT, as Kiaru has dropped the shield, but he's going to eat the damage from Blaze, and that will be the double.
So much damage coming in despite the turret protection, despite the righteousness. But it was just too much for them to handle. That is the dream scenario of a Rainer, you know, with that ace in the hole and the slows coming in from Blaze as well. The stuns from Garrosh. And yeah, we talked about this, right? Turiel, you're like, I'm not entirely sold.
Yeah, me neither for the moment. But there's always opportunity for more, as we do see KT preparing around to soak the top lane for the moment. Their Merc camp has been kind of wrecked by LLK because it has just been left available.
I'm really surprised about this Hanzo build right now. Ignore all distraction.
Oh,
basic attacks instantly kill a minion and increase the basic attack range. Now,
I mean, let's look at their wave clear. Cassia, that's their wave clear.
yeah.
So, I mean, scatter arrows, the explosive arrow is easier wave clear, but I guess this is consistent. If you attack a minion, then a hero, etc., then you keep the extra attack range for a long time. That is exactly what you were concerned about earlier.
Maybe, yeah. Let's see how that goes. Of course, once Hanzo completes the redemption at level 1, his attack speed is actually going to be insane, which allows him to clear minion waves quite handsomely, despite the fact he doesn't go for an AoE build.
Maybe he's just really sure that his team's going to lose so hard that catapults will come in early enough to gain value.
Wow. That would be a next level prediction for sure, and really confident as well.
Good abundance.
That's really good. That's really good.
They're able to tank it using that Dragon Queen. They hold the line, at least for the moment, but 619 did not drop the biotic emitter. BTG very happy to back up, grab a fountain, and move back in. Everyone's basically back to full health now, and they've run out the timer on the Dragon Queen. They move back in, 5v4, but Hanzo Arise making it the 5v5 as they focus down onto Kiaru. Quick teleport away, but he gets sniped.
He gets sniped indeed, but doesn't reach. Actually, he reached out to 619 as well, but here comes the healing pulse. They held it. They saved it for so long. Can they now find another kill? Hanzo getting the damage in onto Blaze. It's a 4 versus 4 right now. Never mind. Cassia also falls.
I think Hanzo is done on redemption because look at the speed he is wrecking them right now.
Yep.
He is going to have to back up, and this will be a... Actually, it might not be 10 seconds until Cassia is back. They can probably fight again with level 7.
Oh, absolutely. They could come back now with level 7. As you said, KT, they should have enough time left here. They need to prevent unnecessary poke, though. If they take too much damage, they can't even fight an engagement anymore. But with that Blossom, with that Life Bloom at level 7, TWT will be able to spam out those Qs almost without cooldown.
All right, with 88% on the point, Cassia arrives. One level above
round 3.
BTG. Round 3 on this fight. Diablo is getting absolutely dominant. Needs to get on the abundance point. Gets the shield, gets the heal, but it's being burned down by the members of BTG. Take it out, but look at the health bars. Getting absolutely wrecked here as Bad chases down 619. Quick toss with that Wrecking Ball. Lotus also being dropped by Dancing, who's able to win the duel there and take that down. Down goes Dancing as well. Bad turning it round, looks for the Garrosh Loktar, and 619 both low, and that is KT winning the fight.
And that they do. Super convincing move there by Bad, in my opinion. He was zoning out everybody. He was chasing down targets as well. He got the Jimmy after all.
Why are they waiting for this?
They're waiting for this because they want everybody to be back in position, but they should have actually just left.
Why?
I mean, sure, they're going to lose value from it. That's for sure, but they probably wanted... I don't know, man.
Even if you want to put someone else in it, why not get in the Protector, move it into the lane, and then use it for wave clear by swapping seats? They just burned through like 10 seconds of that Protector, getting absolutely nothing.
And now they basically walked into this lane, and they took so much damage already from the combined efforts of BTG. So this is probably one of the least impactful Protectors we have seen yet. And let's see what they can do on the side lanes here. They're soaking bottom, they're soaking top lane. Kiara needs to be careful here.
If anyone with good knowledge, with better knowledge than me apparently, can tell me a good reason for that Protector being delayed, I would love to hear it. Send it to me on Twitter at Tetcha. As we see that Protector's trying to clear out the lanes at least a little bit for the moment.
Alright, level 10 is here now at least, so let's see which tools they're trying to go for here. Timeless trapped in the Sundering there as well as strong Scarlet Aegis though, keeping him alive for a little bit longer. Lifebinder is good. Sorry, Scarlet Aegis was on Garage, not on Diablo, but still good Lifebinder, so both supports with good plays.
And as such, KT, they're still in the game. They are holding themselves together, at least for the moment. Hanzo needs some more auto attacks to get his stacks back, as once again, those still do disappear, even if it completes it. It's not like a Thrall Frostwolf pack, for example, which is which is what we see.
Alright, Healing Pulse goes over to Beyond the Game. They once again have that item advantage over their opponents. But if there's one thing that we've seen in this game up to this point, it is the fact that KT can bounce back at any given time. They have a lot of damage available if Hanzo is left uncontested, and if Cassia is going to be able to unleash her full charged attacks value in the team fight as well. Hanzo, by the way, going for Sharpened Arrowheads, which is the only talent that really makes sense with that build. You're trying to lower the armor of a target that you hit, and especially against Garrosh, that can be super valuable.
619, pulling back. Lotus. Nice escape there. Sees the rotation with the scatter arrow, easily dances away.
And this is how you do it. You stay close to your wall when something's fishy, when something doesn't look quite right, so you cannot fall to those sneaky ganks. Speaking of ganks, Beyond the Game is all over the map right now. They're really trying to find that opening. They're not even level 13 yet, but they're still trying.
Good taunt, trying to turn it around. Thundering is gorgeous. And they pick up the kill onto Tyrael. I will say, before that fight happened, that was the first time I've ever seen that Diablo skin while its movement speed is increased, and it looks hilarious. When it's in full leg walking form, when it gets the speed boost from Tyrael, looks
that
great.
It does. Swift Retribution level 7 is a superb talent for many heroes, especially Hanzo actually. If Tyrael plays this smart and his smite is not needed, in the front line, then he can actually deliberately use it on either Cassia or Hanzo, or both ideally, and increase their attack speed, which with Hanzo in that build would be tremendously useful.
Oh yes, because Hanzo is already fully stacked on Redemption again, so he's back to full. In fact, every quest talent in the game that is full, it is completable, is fully stacked. Behemoth Armor on 33 stacks.
That is quite impressive. All right. I mean, that is an infinite talent, right? But it's still so much extra health for Raynor.
Yeah, like I said, all the completable ones are complete, and that one is now also here as well. So we're seeing the next control point being ready. Locktar decides that instead of escaping, he's going to just absolutely face wreck Lotus, who is once again having fun. Look at him go! He's so fast!
However, it is now Tyrael who ends up falling for that reckless maneuver between himself and Hanzo. So good pick, just shy of level 13 with that Holy Ground. Maybe he could have done something. But as it is, he should be able to join his teammates yet again to maybe contest that top protector.
Hover around the area for the moment. Don't get caught, at least in this case. Quick knock up. Very chill here for BTG. Being quite relaxed with their engage-disengage style, but how long are they going to be able to keep that up? As KT are on even talents, and they will be rotating in now that Tyrael has returned.
Yeah, they're gearing up. As you just saw, the healing camp has respawned now as well. So sometimes when a team tries heavily to, conquer the platform for that protector, the other team can sneak in, get that healing camp, and come back later. Timeless going in deep. Sanctification, though. Lifebinder keeping him safe for now.
He tanks through. Here comes the Dragon Queen, but it's too late. Cassia already down. Kiaru, though, speed boosting once again escaping. Lotus pings in damage using those extra sharpened arrowheads that ping away some of that armor.
And they now see what's going on. The Sonic Arrow went down, so they know perfectly well that BTG is trying to get yet another healing camp. The armor reduction is real here from Lotus. If he stays safe, actually, Garrosh says, Diablo, why don't you come in here? Everybody having a good time here near that mercenary camp. But, yeah, that is just not the way KT imagined things to go. And what's most frustrating, I feel like, for Cassia is the fact that two saving heroic abilities were available. The Sanctification and the Dragon Queen, although that's not really a heroic ability, but maybe if the Dragon Queen had been used earlier, she could have been saved.
Yeah, the Dragon Queen was used too late, and the Sank wasn't used at all, so very strange here. The Lifebinder was already used as well, so we can't blame that, but yeah, Cassia taken out as we see the Protector, second one of the game, this time picked up by BTG as they march through. Rip Assault Camp, who just gets absolutely wrecked.
Yep, and looks like they're not done with that fort just yet. They actually dive past it. They're trying to go for the kill against Hanzo, and they find it. Not only does that weaken the defenses of KT significantly, it also takes away most of their damage and resets. Sorry, not fully resets, but puts a little bit of a dent into the redemption stacks.
Yeah, I knew you could cancel the particle cannon. I don't know how you do that, but that happened. So we see the Gatling gun taking down Diablo. Easy kill there, picked up by the Protector as they finish off their second fort of the game. Nicely done, and significantly more value than the KT Protector.
Yeah, absolutely true. I mean, they're just opening the map here to their own taste, to their own liking. I mean, there's probably not going to be a single fort left standing. Still 14 seconds on it. That should be enough, especially with the help of Loktar here, and maybe Thrall also arrives in time. You need to be careful, though. 16 will be there shortly for KT. And forts, like getting forts is all nice and dandy, but if you start losing a rhythm like SPT did in that second game, then the enemies might be able to take that as well. And liking.
3 in a row? 3 forts is an acceptable amount of forts. Very, very acceptable indeed.
Quite possibly the best outcome you could have hoped for with that Protector. I don't think there was actually more value to be gained, even if you had played it like Gen G. Probably they couldn't have even gotten more value either.
Down goes the fortification camp, being picked up by BTG, more control being added to the next objective, and of course, they are very good at tanking keep shots if you do fancy diving those. We're seeing the Giant Slayer, I think that talent is called on Hanzo. I will double check. But basically percentage damage. More pinging onto Garrosh, more pinging onto
it is the flawless technique.
That's the one.
Oh, sorry, Giant Slayer, you're correct. Flawless technique is the other one. So Giant Slayer is correct. Whenever the scatter arrow bounces off a wall and hits an enemy hero, they take additional damage by 1.5% of their max health.
Yes, it does also work on auto attacks, which is the main point of it in this scenario. So basically now autos and scatter arrows are going to give them a much easier time killing off Garrosh and Blaze and all those lovely other heroes. Yeah, really? It's definitely an effective talent. Flawless technique can be okay, but in Giant Slayer is a little bit more standard and more consistently effective. Ew dear, Sundering is gorgeous, and Kiaru will actually stay alive. Still no sanctification being burned. Finally being used here, but now everyone's really low, so they have no way out of here after it ends. And yeah, Lotus will be able to escape, but Kiara will certainly die.
Yeah, and just like that, we have a 4-man kill in favor of BTG. Now, what are they going to do with it? They're just casually picking up the healing pulse here that they forgot to pick up earlier that they just got. And it's just the same story over and over again, right? Garrosh tosses Diablo in before he can shadow charge to safety. The follow-up CC was immaculate this time around with Thrall and Blaze. And all of a sudden, yet again, the team is left without Timeless.
That's such Raider using the AoE actually from his auto attacks to damage the tower a little bit. I'm not entirely sure why they killed off the sidewall first, other than maybe just for that reason, if they just plan on using the Banshee to tank the tower anyway.
Yeah, the sidewall is oftentimes underrated though, because it gives you vision just in case you were to actually siege up again. So you'll basically see parts of the enemy base, which allows you to dive even more efficiently. And look at that, by the way. We see the Banshee upgrade at level 20, which gives the Banshee, Duskwing. We see more health now on the Banshee. And the moment the Banshee dies, it's actually going to give Freyner a free instance of that Adrenaline Rush and the Inspire.
We also see the Titanic Might, the standard talent for Garrosh at level 20, giving him that double throw, which can really set up for easy kills. And Whitemane is sticking with the Scarlet Crusade here. More healing and unstoppable for 1 second, which is pretty freaking good.
That's amazing, actually. It gives you so much movement freedom. You don't have to worry about Diablo interrupting anyone. Slows, Dragon's Arrows. Actually, if that is used in time, the Dragon's Arrow is not going to do anything which could be a really sexy move. As it is, though, what are you going to do here, KT, that is? Look at all those items. 3 healing pulses in possession of Beyond the Game. That's so much healing. They can sustain that all the way if they wanted to. That Protector is definitely going to fall into their hands. The bottom keep is already wounded. This might very well just be a core rush Tetra.
They have a 5-man item collection.
Yeah.
That is one of the first ones we have seen. We have seen it before, but it's very rare. Like I say, impressive coming in here. 3 healing pulses, don't stack them, and 2 turrets. And now, 1 giant robot with a Banshee that follows it. I guess you can't command it, so it does just follow you.
That's pretty cool, actually. I've never seen that before.
Yeah.
It's like a cute little doggo.
You can't command it because he's in the Protector. Yeah. You can't use R. They're going to dive in using the Rocket Fist, but it's not enough.
And the Banshee's like a cute little doggo here, you know, following its master and still attacking things that try to hurt it.
Oh my god. Sanctification this time is pretty good. Lightning Breath for the turnaround. Oh my! They pick up 1. Do you see the... Oh, wait, no, they don't. The bunker. The Protector was just blocking it. They're juggling members of the Protector to keep them alive. BTG, the god. Locktar, Protector yourself. Locktar, he survives. They all survive. And finally, we see... No, they don't survive. They are all dying. In fact, LOK taken out. And wow, that was... I like the idea of trying to juggle the Protector, but that did not work.
That was an amazing defense by KT and a life-saving one at that. They didn't even lose a single core HP here. And the main problem was Turiel. With that golden sanctification, he missed a couple up to this point, but that one that mattered, it actually landed. And look at KT. They're not messing around. They're going straight for the keep in the top lane here. But watch Turiel and that immaculate timing on that sanctification, blocking the Sundering and blocking all the follow-up damage. Boom! There we go.
Oh. The Sundering attempt was good. Dragon Queen, the healing pulses were, in fact, stacked. The bunker was super good here. Now you see once the bunker pops, you see people juggling the Protector, trying to keep the value there, but people aren't getting in it because they're getting stun-locked. So the Scorching Laser was not enough. This is ambitious. Lifebinder keeps Lotus alive, but guess who's not good at rushing a core? Hanzo. Meanwhile, Diablo is dead.
Oh, no.
Bad is trying to distract. TWT goes down. Hanzo is solo racing the core while being chased down by Blaze as everyone else dies. Lotus trapped in a corner, all alone. And that's how you throw a game, ladies and gentlemen.
KT, why? You had all the tools available to stabilize. Just make it a 1-1 key trade and then take all the mercenary camps, take all the items. You had so much time, but no longer. With only Diablo coming back from death, thanks to max stacks, he's not going to be able to hold that onslaught. Dancing is going in like a madman. He knows he's got free reign. The Banshee tanking a little bit here. The Lightning Breath just trying to zone them out to the best of his ability, but it's not going to matter. Rainer's uncontested. Catapults are here as well. The bunker is there just in case things turn south. And Beyond the Game, after an amazing hold by KT, they threw it away in an instance. And it's a 2-0. It's a 1-0, sorry.
Game number 1 goes over to BTG, but very nearly did it. They very nearly made a terrible mistake. But KT, they're not a core race team, so they decided to race a core. Bad call there.
Bad call, bad call. They could have even, you know, equalized the keep score here. They could have taken all those healing pulses, sieges.
They burned through all of their opponent's items, killed them all. There were mercs available on the map. There was so much they could have done. Instead, they ran to the core and died.
Yeah, and they really have to take this piece of information they got from this game, right, and just use it. And it's a stellar example of how China struggles to make the right decisions sometimes. Like, obviously, I can understand, you know, people getting agitated in communications like, we just did it, guys. We held it. Let's go, finish it. But sometimes you really need to learn how to calm your horses, especially, as you said, Tetra, you nailed it. If you don't have good core racing, you know, if you had an Illidan, a Sonya in the mix, a Greymane, that would have maybe been a different story, right? Because these heroes would have also allowed you to kill the remaining survivors of BTG over and over again, but not with the composition that you had.
Just Hanzo just leaping across the core and just pinging away a couple arrows, just like, guys, if you can sustain me, guys. But you don't have self-sustain as Hanzo.
Yeah.
Even if the entire team of KT of BTG, had left Hanzo after killing his teammates and just ran across the map to end the game anyway, they still would have won and potentially quicker. Because Hanzo can't end the game alone like that. He'll just die. He can he can ping arrows at it for a while. I mean, it takes a really long time.
Out of all the builds Hanzo went for, that was probably the best one to go for the core. But still,
I guess, yeah, but
still, it's not worth it. Like, you can never, as a ranged assassin, I feel, that has no self-sustain, you can never isolate yourself willingly from the rest of your team like that. Also, by the way, something I saw in that replay, what went terribly wrong for BTG in that last team fight was the fact that White Main was in that protector. So they didn't have the Scarlet Aegis. They didn't have that to protect themselves from the Lightning Breath, from all that onslaught damage.
Yeah.
And that's why the support guys never, not say never, but most of the time shouldn't go in there.
They dropped 2 healing pulses. They dropped all 3 healing pulses at the same time, so those were overlapping. So they don't stack. That amount of healing does not stack. It's like a healing totem. So yeah, they needed the Aegis as well, just for the armor's sake.
Yep. I mean, the Aegis would have done more than the 2 healing pulses, right?
Here is the argument. This is why a lot of teams do put the healer in the protector. You can't kill the healer if it's in the protector.
Right.
But that healer's got to be prepared to get out at a moment's notice.